Hey, okay, last segment of our recovery series. So, do you need to worry about your mental recovery? Um, yes, 100%. And this is probably something that is the most often skipped is worrying about our mental health and making sure that we're mentally recovering properly. So, um, think about it. Like you would never like your body has to recover, so why would we think that we can just like keep hammering our minds until they end up burnt out? We have to make sure that we are taking care of our mental hygiene just as much as we're taking care of all the other aspects. So how do we do this? First of all, I'm giving you permission right now to slow down. Okay, like you have to take time to slow down or you will, it's not an if, it is a when, you will burn out. Okay, so making sure to do that is important. How do we make sure to get that done? One, initiate some forms of self-care. And by self-care, I don't necessarily mean you have to go get massages and pedicures and all. I mean, those things are great. Do it. Like, I'm totally cool with that. But that's not what I mean. I mean, we need to make sure that we are taking 10 to 15 minutes to ourselves in the morning. Maybe it's reading. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but maybe it's a little bit of reading. Maybe it's sitting by yourself enjoying a cup of coffee. Maybe it's buying yourself your favorite latte every so often because it feels good and you love it. But it's also things like removing the toxic people or toxic situations from your life. That is very much a form of self-care. What else do we have? Going for a walk, letting go of the high standards that you've set for yourself, all of these things, and understanding that you're worthy. Like those things are all forms of self-care. So making sure that we're doing that. If you can take care of yourself and start focusing on those things, then I promise you will show up to be a better athlete, a better mom, dad, sister, brother, spouse, significant other, whatever it is, whatever the roles are that you play every single day, you will be better if you put yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay, that's the first thing you can do. Find your people. Make sure that you're surrounded by really good people. I say it all the time. You are the combination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If there are people in your circle that aren't suiting you anymore, maybe you realize that everybody that you surround yourself with is constantly like complaining, or they're really negative, or they're gossipy, then find a new circle, okay? Or you're going to end up falling down to that level, and you don't want to do that. Have people around you that bring you up. Other things is say no more often, right? So you don't actually have to do everything. So you can say no. And people will actually start to respect you for this. Like, don't freak out and be mean about it. Just simply say, I've already made a commitment to myself or this person that I'm just not able to make that happen right now. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and maybe like think about me next time, but it's not going to work. It's okay to say no to things, and they're going to be like, oh, I can say no. Wow. Then they'll respect that. Like maybe at first they might be a little butthurt by it, but then they're going to be like, wow, I really wish that I would have said no to this, right? So do that. And then let's see, what else do I have? So this is a big one for me. Write yourself a permission slip to slow down. We already talked about how we tend to get in our mind that taking time for ourselves and is a waste of time, or we are lazy or something like that. So one way to mentally break through that, write yourself a permission slip. Like I do this all the time. Like Andrew makes fun of me because he'll see permission slips. Like it's like, Stacy, I give you permission to go and sit on the couch and watch a little TV and not think about work. If that's what you need to do, do it. Okay? Write yourself a permission slip and slow the fuck down. So, what else? how, I'm not going to get into that right now. So it's the other things that you can do to make sure that you're really focusing on that mental hygiene is get outdoors, get outside, walk around. There's nothing better than like going outside, walking around, but don't bring the AirPods, don't put on headphones. Enjoy the nature. Don't even have your phone on you. Like, I mean, you might want to, because who knows, but, put it in your pocket and just get outside. It's going to be awesome. Journal. So I can't stress this one enough. And these are the things that people don't do because they're scared of what they might find. That's what I tend to realize, is that when we allow ourselves to sit in silence or sit with our thoughts or anything, we're like, ooh, there's some stuff coming up that I don't want to deal with. So, which makes it even more important that we do it. Okay, so journaling is a really good way to do that. You might bring up some trauma from your past. You might realize some of your blind spots. You might realize that maybe you didn't handle a situation the way that you wished you would have. But there's only one way to the other side, and that's always through. You can't jump over it. You can't keep pushing it down. You can, but it's just going to keep popping up. So you might as well try to work through it, okay? And we're going back to mindfulness, meditation, being able to sit in quiet. And that's really powerful. So keeping that in mind, going back to that, and that's really powerful. And then the other thing is shifting your perspective on life in general. So this one, I really like to talk about a grateful practice. Have a grateful practice. And that means, you wake up in the morning, you write it, you don't even have to write it down, just say it. 3 things you're grateful for. 3 things at night that you're grateful for. Throughout the day, I love to use this when I find myself in those situations where I'm starting to see the negative in everything. I stop myself right there. I'm like, Stacey, 3 things you're grateful for. Because as humans, we have a negativity bias. It was a survival instinct. So it is natural for us to gravitate towards the negative. That's where things like misery loves company comes in. We love to sit in the negative. Therefore, it's going to take a lot of effort to start seeing those positives. But as you do that, you're starting to rewire your brain to see more positive. And at first you'll be like, I can't even think of anything. And then you'll think of 2 things. And then all of a sudden you could write 10 things that you were grateful for. You almost can't stop at 3. And don't, share it. Yeah, all the things. Okay, so that's a really big one. And then other than that, the last one I just want to talk about is breath work. So doing some sort of the number one thing you can do to get yourself out of that anxiety and stress and all of that is to focus on your breath. And so little things like you can just simply take 5 to 10 deep breaths. What I love about this one is it doesn't add anything else to your plate in the day. You're not you don't have to carve out time for it. You can do it in the car. You can do it when you're just sitting there at your desk. You can do it any time, right before bed, as you wake up. You can have some breath work at that time. So just 5 to 10 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. We only use 30% of our lung capacity most of the time when we're breathing. Think about that in relation to performance. If you could learn to control your breath and actually use a majority of your lungs, holy crap, that would be crazy. So, if nothing else, do it for that reason. But big inhales, 3-part breaths, think about it going into your chest and then into your diaphragm and then all the way into your belly. And then as you exhale, you're going to do it the opposite way. And you can also do box breathing, which I just learned. If you have a heart condition or COPD or something like that, or you're struggling with lung stuff, don't do box breathing. But box breathing is you would inhale, big inhale for 4 seconds. You would hold that inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold the exhale for 4 seconds. Also, if you have any issues with anxiety and things like that, you don't hold the exhale for 4 seconds. It can feel a little bit constricting, and that can spike some, and that's where the heart related stuff comes from. You don't want to hold that exhale. So keeping that in mind. If you have any of those issues, be careful. And then the other one is alternate nostril breathing. So I like to tell people about this one and then just wait. But you guys aren't going, I can't see you. So, and wait for them to try to do it without using their fingers. You do have to use your fingers on this one. But this one's really powerful because not only are you focusing on your breathing, but you're also connecting the right and left hemisphere of your brain because of the movement between. So what you would do with this one is take a big inhale, and then you would close one nostril and exhale. Then you would inhale through the same nostril, switch it, and exhale. Watching myself do this is really funny. But seriously, take 5 to 10 of those when you're feeling stressed out or you just need like a moment or you just need to like reconnect. Maybe you're in this moment of creativity and you're not sure, like you're stuck. Take some alternate nostril breaths and see how you feel. So, okay, don't skip out on the mental stuff. So important. Love you all, and I will see you soon. I don't know what will be the next series, but it'll be fun.